When my grandmother passed away, I was about maybe 11 or 12. And at that tender age, she was the first person who was really close to me to take me through this experience in the death of somebody close to me. And I never forget. When I went to that church in Portland, I never went inside the church. And I used to feel bad about it. And I'm probably the only grandkid who didn't go in. I never looked at her in the casket. But the reason why is everyone was in the casket, especially when the viewing time came and you were to view the body. I was outside standing at the door, and my grandmother was standing out there. That's where I perceived her, at her youngest state. And she was out there. So at that tender age, I was looking at everyone looking at the body, and I was thinking to myself, but she's not there. She's out here observing you and smiling and just there. And I never understood what that meant until years after. Because that night when we left Portland in my sister's car, my grandmother came with us. And I remember speaking that. And I'm a Jamaican, so you know the culture. Oh my gosh, this is not good because that means the ghost is following. And there was so much fear around it that as I was younger, I wouldn't speak about seeing my grandmother in situations where somebody's going to get hurt. And I realized after my NDE that she chose at that point to be my guide. And after my NDE, I started to connect the dots. Say, oh my gosh, when my father was about to have a heart attack, she's the one who gave me the dream. When we took him to the hospital, she's the one who said to me, no, stay. And within an hour when they released him from the hospital, he had a heart attack with his head in my lap. And that was physical validation that, wow, there's a moreness. So am I going to hold on to the fear to say the living has nothing to do with the dead because a text said so? Or am I going to feel into it, to say, no, I have a connection with somebody that I love dearly, who's on the other side, who has literally amplified within my spiritual team, who has given me nothing but experience of guidance, protection, and love. And I feel into that. So you're having an experience, before you get fearful about it, feel into it. What is your heart telling you about this? And it's been stories upon stories upon stories about these guides and this beautiful grandmother who is in the spirit world. And at first, I wouldn't speak about it because I was fearful. Like, I can't tell anybody about this because the moment you open your mouth, it gets shut down because there's so much fear within the text. The reason why now, it's not a demolition of Christianity or of faith. It's an amplification of faith beyond a reasonable doubt and simply stripping the fear out of it. So stop believing, if I have these dreams or if I have this loved one who passed away and I had this dream about them, oh my gosh, I have to figure out how to get rid of it, how to stop this. No, feel into your heart. You're not abandoning anything, you're amplifying. And I've noticed so many people are now fearful, what's happening to my body? Well, your body most times reflects the transformation that you're going through spiritually. And so does your animals. And so does the children in your household, because everything is energetic. I smile, but it's really a plastic smile because deep down in my mind, I'm bombarding myself. I'm not worthy. I'm not worth it. And energetically, if you should understand how powerful that is, the animals in your house start to become dysfunctional because you are emitting this energetic force of doubt and lack. And the children in your household are more fussy because you're always in your mind. You hardly tap into your heart. So I ask you this morning, whatever you say is going wrong in your life, can you pause for a moment and ask yourself, your heart, God, universe, creator, whatever you believe in, what lesson am I supposed to learn from this nurturing that I have to nurture, this burden that I perceive that I have to be going through now, taking care of this family member? Stop for a moment and what are you preparing me for? You know how many people went through these experiences and a year down the line, they realize, oh my gosh, I needed that experience for this mastery that I'm into now. And then you acknowledge, wow, there really is more than me. I've been guided in this realm. And all I have to do is tap into it. So stop waiting to die to have this experience of more than you. Because can I tell you a secret? It's not really a secret now. When you change forms, when you die, when you experience the death process, which let's try to emit the fear from that, it's not going back anywhere to struggle. The death process takes you back to the moreness of that which you represent, to unconditional love. But honey, when you're there on the other side, you don't have a physical body to experience emotions, heartbreaks, choices. When you're back to spirit, you're just back to all there is. And when you get back to all there is, and you know everything, everyone, everywhere, and you are everything, everyone, everywhere, you want to come back to play. So the reason why I speak the way I speak now, publicly, although I never wanted to do it, is because when I remember I had my NDE, the parts that messed me up the more coming back is the very minute choices I had to give love to myself and to somebody else. And I felt how I made that person feel. And when I thought to myself, oh my gosh, so what's important in this life? I was working for the hierarchy, for this identity, because I wanted to be this number one entrepreneur and this, and I wanted to be known as a person who gives and gives and gives. I wanted to be acknowledged for the big things that I did while I was alive. And listen to me, none of those came up. Everything that came up was that one time within my household that I was so much in my head that I didn't even smile with my child. The other moment that I was so much within a thought of fear and the thought of lack. Oh my gosh, I have to do this 9 to 5 and I can't deal with it. But my guides were subtly trying to say, it's going to be okay. I missed the opportunity. They showed me the opportunity when you went into that store and the teller was just so frustrated and you were so much in your head. You couldn't perceive the abundance that we were placing in front of your face. That moment when all you had to do was smile with that teller. And you say to yourself, are you kidding me? Those very minute, stupid things? But yeah, you miss those moments when you are alive. And when you go back to that state of pure love, those are the things that really tickle your fancy. Like, oh, I wish that decision I made that I was so fearful of, because I told it to everyone in my family and my friends, and they said, that's impossible. Where are you going to get the money to do that? And you start to see the trajectory. Wow, if I had trusted that thought in my mind because it felt so good to my heart, this is the trajectory of where my life would have went, but you never trusted. Those are the moments. If you have any questions, you can ask questions now. I just really wanted to talk today about the person who's feeling so drained within your heart space. It's not because you're drained there, it's because you're allowing your mind, which only controls your body, to tell you not to listen to your heart, not to focus there, not to trust. And I know what the grief process is like. And you are supposed to grieve because the physical body needs you to emit that energy somewhere. But in the moments of pause, try to remember the love that this other human being chose to represent in your life. And within that pause, understand that you are able within the physicality to experience love that goes beyond boundaries, that's not limited to the physical life. And yes, the grieving is about you missing the physicality, the sight. But there are pauses within that you allow yourself to remember the love that you share, the laughters, the memories. And you can almost feel that love breathe you. You understand, wow, it really does go beyond. So while you're going through these changes in your life, and many of you will, fear has absolutely nothing to do with light, to do with God, to do with Creator, universe. Fear is simply the constructs, the stories, the everything that ancestry and society has told that you've witnessed. And you've embedded here to say, oh my gosh, I don't ever want to have a dream like that, because they say if I have a dream like that, I'm going towards a darkness. If you don't focus or have an intention to connect with anything dark, there's no way for it to be perceived by you. But if it's something that you believe and it's so holy and true to you, and you expect, oh my gosh, I have a headache and I just know it's an affliction. Well, it's an affliction. But if within your heart space you know prayer moves mountains, your light becomes so bright that I want you to visualize this. I remember one time I had this visual, and I had a prayer breakfast to do at my sister's church, and I was writing a completely different message to give at this prayer breakfast. And this night I had this vision, and I was told, this is what you speak within the shield. And I had this visual of this person going through this door, and I want you to visualize, stretch your hands out, and just imagine that as far as your hands are, there is this shield around you in all ways, all forms, this wide. And within the shield is light. And what they explained to me is, within your thought, when you start to listen to your heart and understand the power in your voice, the words you speak, your thoughts, and how grounded you are in your faith, no matter what faith it is. God is not confined or bound to any religion. I'm talking about your heart, your faith. They say, I want you to visualize this person before they even step through their doors, the moment they wake up in the morning. I want you to visualize this light around them. Beyond that light are millions of dark hands stretching at them that they never see or perceive, but the light that they are, just because of the faith that they have and the religion that they hold, not the religion that's confined, the religion of their hearts that says, I know I am more, I know I am guided, I know everything will be okay. I know that this family member, this person who gives me these dreams, I know that this angel that I dreamt about, I know that God, creator, universe, has my back. Just the thought of that has a light around you so permeating bright that if you should visualize outside of that shield, you would see absolute millions of darkness around you that can't get to you, that you never see or perceive.